design thinking is the place on campus where you can go with any idea and get help doing it yourself.
So I'm going to show you just a few examples of things that we've made here in the past, and then give you a little bit of a tour, which might be is going to be an experiment because it might be a lot of shaking, but hopefully it will work out, and then I'll do some screen sharing and just show you how you can still be involved with us while we're all remote. So this is a really neat piece of fabric from a natural dyeing workshop that we did last year, and this is indigo natural dye, and this piece was dyed using a technique called shibori, which is kind of like tie dyeing, where you tie rubber bands or ropes like around the fabric to make these white patches. Something. In a similar vein, this is paper that we made in a paper making workshop. And then this is paper that was laser cut also from that paper making workshop. And these are both natural fibers. This is sisal and this is flax. This is a mycelium laser cut puzzle piece. So mycelium is the kind of root system of mushrooms. It's what allows mushrooms to spread and actually be the largest organisms on Earth. And you can basically feed mycelium by growing it in a substrate with flour and water, and it will eventually like form this white kind of foamy stuff, and then you dry it in the oven and you get this light material that's kind of similar to like packing foam. So this is often used for like biodegradable packaging, but we were experimenting with it as a laser cuttable material. And then this was a prop that someone made and left with us. It's a microscope that was laser cut, and it's 3 pieces of plywood glued together, which is kind of neat. And more things you can do with the laser cutter. You can also engrave stuff. So if you have a black and white photograph, you can engrave it at different powers and different like resolutions to make it look darker or lighter. And then we also have some 3D printers. So this is a 3D printed piece that the art museum actually had on display last year called King Utal. And this was really neat because all of the 3D printed objects from the artist were on display in the museum, but you couldn't really touch anything because it's art. But we were able to 3D print this and then pass it around to people and use it as a teaching object. And this is another 3D printed piece, which is really fun because it works. So you can make working parts with a 3D printer. And this is just like a fun robot. And this is the inside of a 3D print. So when you're working with a 3D printer, it's kind of like a hot glue gun that is extruding material in a layer, and then it extrudes one layer and then builds up another layer. Let's see. And another layer and another layer. I don't know if you can see the layers on my screen. Probably not. And then it's building up also this support material inside of the 3D print.
I can like make out the little tiny layers.
Yeah, okay. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, this is what is inside this 3D print and this 3D print. And then this one is actually resin, which is using a slightly different technique. It's still building up layer by layer, but you can't see the layers because they're very, very small, and the material is being chemically bonded to itself. And it's actually made from a photosensitive polymer that is kind of solidifying as UV light hits the 3D printer. So that's how this is working. And I will start showing you around actually. And you can see those 3D printers. I'll turn this off. So this is the Ultimaker 3D printer, and I was 3D printing something earlier, but I haven't been here in a long time, and PLA, which is this, the 3D printing plastic gets really brittle if it's left out. So anyways, my 3D print failed, but this is the idea, and there's like a nozzle up here that's building up your print. And this is the other kind of 3D printer, the resin 3D printer. So I don't know if you can see, but in this bed, there's actually a clear liquid, and that's what's building your 3D prints. And then to zoom out a little, this is our studio space. Here's 3D printing, and then there's soldering. This is a vacuum former, which is just a really fun machine. It makes molds of things. There's usually a sewing over here, but our sewing machine is lent out to someone right now. Over here, we have laser cutting, and I think I have time to do like a very quick demo of laser cutting. So basically, the way the laser cutter is working is you have a file on your computer, and you could make this in any kind of software that produces vectors, which are like editable objects on the computer, which you can size up and down, and probably talked about in this class. And then
no, this is actually a literature class, so
okay,
this
you
is
have
all
not
new.
talked about this at all.
But some of them, some people may have had access to such things in high school, but nothing in this class yet.
Okay, good to know. So yeah, basically what this means is if you have something you've made on the computer and then it's editable, that is something that is laser cuttable, more or less. The simplified version. And then yeah, you can print it kind of like you would use a normal printer, and then you get all of these advanced settings, which are adjusting the speed and power of the laser.
A lot of the fun part for me is figuring out the right settings to get the right effect that you want, and sometimes it doesn't go entirely correctly, and it's a lot of trial and error. That part is fun, especially when you make the material or you're trying to do something with a weird material.
Yeah, like this, which is that handmade paper that I was showing you earlier. Like this took some adjusting, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can hear me at this point.
Yeah, we still can.
Yeah, okay. Great. So yeah, I turned on our ventilation system, and that's the laser. Putting out these leaves.
That's so cool.
So what this is doing is there's actually a lens on the laser cutter. There's a lens in here, and there's a series of mirrors that's focusing the light from the laser through the lens. It's like a very fine point, and that point is so precise and so powerful that it can just burn right through material and cut things out.
So I know that one of the things that some people do, even when it's not associated with a class, if they have something they want to make, this would actually be a really busy time of year for you normally, because people come in and try to make, presents for family members and things like that.
Yes, absolutely. And I let's see, go back to here. Yeah, and you can actually still do that, more or less. So I am going to switch to screen sharing and yeah, show you how you can still use the studio space more or less in this kind of environment.
Yeah, so right now we just finished reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and they're working on final projects with respect to Frankenstein, and many of them include a creative component, some of which are making. So like it's possible still that somebody in this class might, be interested in doing this.
Fantastic. I would very much love to work with any of you on a creative project for this class. It is, I think, the most exciting part of my job is like working with students on the projects you come up with. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, so if that's something you're interested in doing, or if you're interested in making gifts for people or whatever it is, you should come to our website. And then you can actually sign up to make a time to meet with me for remote fabrication. If you go to our website, there'll be a bunch of options and you can click on Studio and Hours and that will take you to this page. And then if you scroll down to remote access, this is how you can make something with us right now while we're all remote. And it's a little more complicated, right, than it normally is. You can't just walk in here and make something, but you can absolutely make things with a little bit of planning. So what you're going to want to do is first like get a sense of what machine you want to use here. So in addition to the 3D printers that I showed you and the laser cutter, we also have a vinyl cutter, which makes like silhouettes of things. So they're stickers in that they stick on things, but they only come in one color and they're kind of, yeah, silhouettes and outlines of things. And we also have another laser cutter that takes scans of drawings and can laser cut them. And that's a great tool if you're less familiar with design software, maybe you're not super comfortable making a vector file, you can sketch something and still laser cut it that way. So anyways, check out this tutorial and equipment page that will give you a much better sense of the equipment we have here and what you might actually want to use in your project. And then once you've done that, you should sign up for a time to meet with me to fabricate your design, and you'll be on Zoom with me, and we have this program called Use Together, which actually allows you to remote into my computer and like click on things. So you will actually be doing like a little bit of the fabrication. And when you click on that, that will take you to this scheduling page. And this is the one to click on. And this basically links to my calendar when I'm at Cape and Annex, and you can just find a time. Oh, I should update this for Thanksgiving, but you can find a time that mutually.
Yeah, I hope you're not working all week.
I really am not. Gotta change that. So also this particular page, the scheduling page, is good for a lot of things. If you just want to meet with me to talk about any project, you can do that. If you want to meet with me and the director of the Design Thinking Initiative, Emily, you can also sign up to do that. So this is really our homepage for all things scheduling right now. And anyways, so once you had scheduled a time, you would upload your design file to a form that I'll send you. And then, yeah, we'll fabricate whatever it is you're making, and then I'll send it to you in the mail. And the only really criteria for like what can you make here is that it should be your own like original design. So if you need help making that, again, you can like sign up for a time to meet with me, and I can walk you through some software things and give you some advice on that. And let's see, also on this website is our tool sign out program. So if you click on either of these links, it will take you to our tool and materials library. There's also some really great design books in this library. So the first thing you would do is sign up for an account. This just takes you to a Google form where you can input your address, because yeah, we're going to be mailing you things. And then once you're here, you can either click on one of these things, you can search for something, or you can sort. So if you want only our making kits, you can click on this middle button. And that is going to pull out all of the actual kits here. And then once you have an account, you can just place a hold on the item, and that sends me a notification, and I will send it to you. This is very easy and really meant to facilitate like hands-on work in final projects and things like that. If you're, if you are looking to make gifts, we have like a jewelry kit and crafting kit. So there's actually lots of really great stuff here. And all of these making things while we're remote do require some planning. So definitely request a kit maybe a week or so before you're planning on using it, just to give time for like packing and sending to you.